There are nearly a dozen Democratic candidates for mayor, but new polling shows it's really a two-man race.
Despite being the early frontrunner, Cuomo is facing stiff competition from state Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani, a young progressive who gained support with populist proposals such as free bus service and rent freezes for rent-stabilized apartments.
It is pretty wild that this is even a close race, because Andrew Cuomo would never be able to bring this kind of momentum to anything. And I don't know how to contend with that reality where overwhelming moneyed interests can just like, and institutional recognition and all of the party's infrastructure can just like not even mobilize people in the same way, but can just like hold on to power. It doesn't matter. People don't need to be excited at all about a candidate. People don't need to feel hopeful. I don't know anymore, man. I really don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. There have been a couple once-in-a-lifetime candidates like Jeremy Corbyn. They rat him, you know. Zohran Mamdani is another example. And they're actively trying to rat Zohran as well. Bernie Sanders. Reminder that Cuomo is expected to be ahead in the first round. It's a matter of how much. If he's ahead by 2 or 3, he's toast. If it's 5 to 6, it's a toss-up. 10% or more, it's over.
When we launched this campaign on a cold October evening, few thought we could win.
Thank you, my man. I'll see you. Thank you.
But I always knew that we would build a campaign just like this.
Just voted today. Just voted today.
Over 1 million doors knocked, more than 40,000 volunteers. You are the beating heart of this campaign. You have climbed 6th-floor walk-ups and braved the pouring rain to canvass our city.
Wait, we both have canvas for you.
That's amazing.
Can't wait to have you here.
You have shared our message with the very New Yorkers you've lived alongside for years, but never had the chance to meet. I am sorry, but the days of moral victories are over.
This is right. This is the best part of the speech.
Because this is a campaign that is going to win on June 24th. And it's thanks to each and every one of you.
Yeah, this walk was right after he had death threats. Just a heads up, that first election results update includes about 50,000 mail ballots favorable to Cuomo and 384,000 early votes favorable to Mamdani relatively. If Mamdani's up by 10% and or 43,400 votes after all this drops, he'll be in good shape. In case you weren't sure if Zohran had the youth vote, I just got this text. I mean, dude, here's the thing. Is Twitter real life or not? Is this going to be a Twitter poster, you know, people who enjoy podcasts and the New York City like youth vote turnout versus people who just watch TV and see an ad and go, oh, I think Zohran is going to put homeless people in the subway stations. Like he wants to put the homeless in the subways, more homeless in the subways, please. The American voter is so fascinating. Uh-oh. Diana Barrett, 65-year-old Detroit, says she ranked Cuomo first because of his record-leading New York during the COVID-19 pandemic and ranked Mamdani second because of his pledges to make the city buses free and lower cost of housing. Cuomo really guided me and my loved ones and so many people through this. And I felt like he was a little railroaded with the sexual allegations, she said outside of Brooklyn Borough Hall, alluding to the roughly dozen women who accused the governor of misconduct he denies. But he just has so many good qualities and he has such a history that I want to give him another chance. As for Mamdani, Barrett says, sometimes fresh blood is really nice. This is a paid voter? No, man. No. This is not a paid bot or a paid voter. That's just the average American. Wake up. I think a lot of you are misguided because you spend a great deal of time in this community and you think that like
on this primary day, voters and poll workers.
The average voter has like any sense of comprehension, any sense of reason. The median voter is a psychopath, dude.
We stand on the verge of a victory that will resonate across the country and the world. Make no mistake, this victory will be historic, not just because of who I am, a Muslim immigrant and a proud democratic socialist, but for what we will do. Make this city affordable for everyone. Because after this rally, as many of us sleep, millions of our neighbors will step out onto moonlit streets across our city. Nurses working.
I think about this a lot, but I fear that if Cuomo still ends up sleepwalking into a marginal victory here, it's so similar to the Bernie Sanders primaries in 2019 and 2020, where it's just like the Democratic Party's primary function is to assassinate the hopes and dreams of the next generation. Any kind of additional pickup that they can get of people who just engage in like harm reduction narratives and like marginally better voting, they'll be fine with that. They are totally capable of shredding their fucking base of support every step of the way. They do not care about hopes. They want to eliminate hope. Yeah, 2020 Nevada primary is the moment of maximum hope that I had. Young buck pulled together an IRL backpack, was ready to go on the campaign trail following Bernie Sanders. And then the 2020 Nevada primaries happened. Leading up to the Nevada primary, everyone was like, the unions are all backing, was it Joe Biden? No, what was it? The unions were just not backing. It wasn't even Joe Biden. The unions are not backing Bernie Sanders. They're backing, establishment Democrats or whatever. It was Pete Buttigieg or something, I think, at the time. And I remember being like, this is not true because I know the rank and file is on board with Bernie and his message. And we were right. We were right. And Bernie wins after endless amounts of propaganda that he was going to lose in the Nevada primaries. And there was just like so much hope. I remember door knocking and seeing so many people be like, oh, I like that guy, Bernie. What's a primary? I hope he wins. It's like, bro, it's happening today. Why don't you go out? I don't have time. I don't feel like it. And then COVID. And then Super Tuesday. And then I watch all of my dreams perish in front of my eyes. Everything falls apart. And we're stuck with this decrepit old ass monster. The Jim Clyburn rat. What you're seeing with Zohran is a microcosm of that. I don't know. Maybe you were too young to remember the Bernie situation, but it is exactly the same, but it's happening in a much shorter period of time where everybody goes, all systems go, time to post endlessly negatively about Zohran. His socialism's scary. His bitches ain't too bad. His weed ain't loud at all. Okay. His smoke is not loud. If Zohran Mamdani wins, they're going to assassinate every Jewish person in New York City. And they're going to assassinate every fucking hedge fund manager side by side. They said the same shit about Bernie. Eric made the video. Oh, this one? Yeah. Hell yeah. HasanAbi heads are all over this campaign, man. They're cooking. Anyway, New York City mayoral primary election results are coming in. Holy moly. There we have it. All right. Stop the vote. Stop the vote. Zohran wins. All right. More dumps. Okay. Andrew Cuomo making a modest gain over Zohran Mamdani in the new dumps. Not that consequential.
You need to go
Staten
on there
Island.
for 2 weeks
oh my
for it
God.
to penetrate the audience.
Isn't this actually good as for Mamdani from Staten Island? That's crazy. He's like 2,000 behind Cuomo in Staten Island. Wait, dude, white men are kind of goated. What the dude? White men rise up. Oh my Lord. That's like, what does he have? Like a cop constituency? What the is this? Okay, let's chill on the white man.
Said in the last debate,
listen, if Zohran wins with the white man vote, trust me, I'm never stopping. Okay, it's white boy summer. It's jihad summer, but it's white male jihad summer. We got enough votes. Stop the count. It's fine. There's not enough. Guys, I'm going to make the boss call right now. We should just stop counting. Come on, this is a good amount of vote. Dude, come on. This is a good amount of people that have voted. Why do you need 1 million plus people voting? That's too many votes.
First got that first tranche of voters coming, or early votes coming in. There was a 10-point lead. Mamdani had 9 or 10 points, and now that's shrunk to about 8
precincts in Bensonhurst and Diker Heights.
He's at 43.8% of the vote right now, and
that's
like you
crazy.
said, it just takes 50%.
Oh my God,
plus
the
one.
podcast vote, dude. Oh my God, I am so. Dude, I joked. I said the podcaster vote was insignificant. It was inconsequential. I was wrong, okay? It's got all the motion, okay? Nick Mullen left, rise up. It's actually real. It's the podcast is real. All the boys, they got together, the Chapos, the Truanons, the Come Towns of the world. This community as well, I think, is like in the podcast circuit as well. I did not realize that Brooklyn was the crown jewel of New York. I had no idea.
Legislature.
I do not see a scenario where Zohran Mamdani will not be the Democratic nominee come ranked choice voting final round. Stop.
On the campaign trail.
Bro, I have not let myself believe, because I've been let down so much. I have been let down so much, as many of you have as well. I mean, but it seems like I'm seeing a lot of movement here in a very interesting direction, and it's causing me to, dare I say, feel just a crumb, just a little bit of hope. I don't know. I don't want to say anything too crazy, okay? But it does look kind of good, I think. It's a very dangerous feeling. Very dangerous feeling.
Now in Long Island City, Queens,
White guys, rise up, dude.
All right, Allie, thank you.
Look
and
at
one
this.
Of the things about ranked
Staten Island. What is happening? 38% for Zohran Mamdani at Staten Island. He's trailing behind by 2,000 points in Staten Island. What is going on? Is Staten Island Hamas? They're not Democrats, but dude, they're voting for a brown Muslim socialist. He is the least likely candidate to come out of, like, I didn't think that would happen. Staten Island right now.
2 goals in this race. Win the primary and prevent Andrew Cuomo from getting the Democratic nomination.
Adam Carlson calls it. Did I just get locked out of Twitter? What the was this? Stick a fork in it. Zohran Mamdani will win the first round of the Democratic primary for New York City mayor. Zero path forward for Cuomo to make up that ground with RCV. A Muslim immigrant Democratic socialist, the front runner. Okay, well, we'll see. Also, I did say that I would move to New York for a little bit if Zohran Mamdani became the mayor. Maybe the old Democratic establishment starts throwing their weight behind candidates their voters keep saying they don't want just an idea. Look at that. Look at that. The commentariat is now coming in. The reason why this race is important, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything crazy. But the reason why this race is important is because everybody focused on the New York mayor. When Eric Adams won, people started fantasizing about him becoming the next president, okay? The next presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. Obviously, that was laughable. He was dog shit, and we all knew that. But all the dog commentary people, not saying the Pod Johns are, but like the Nate Silvers, the Nate Browns of the world, were running around talking about how Eric Adams is going to be the next president. That was what Matty Yglesias was saying. Everybody's paying attention to this race at a time when there is a very unique dynamic within the base of support for the Democratic Party and the Democratic establishment and their ineptitude becoming glaringly obvious. People are looking for a fighter. Zohran Mamdani represented that change. He represented that dynamism. He's young. He's fresh-faced. He is uncorrupted by the normal forces that have caused all of this awfulness that New Yorkers are experiencing. People like Andrew Cuomo. It's almost like a Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders style situation. The fight is not over regardless. He still hasn't crossed the finish line. And even if he crossed the finish line in the primaries, make no mistake, I can totally see the Democratic Party and the forces that were trying to rat Zohran at the end will maybe even take it and do something like an India Walton style situation and try to prop up Andrew Cuomo. These guys are disgusting. They are pathetic, vile demons. Do you understand? So the fight is not over yet, which is part of the reason why I'm not, overly ecstatic. But this is a really good sign. It's not just a really good sign for New York City. It's a really good sign because this is one of those undeniable sea change moments that could potentially pick up steam, okay? Just like what the Justice Democrats election victories did in the primaries under the first Trump administration. This is an opportunity once again. And this time the Democratic Party is even weaker than it was before. So if they don't do it for us, we will force them out. If they don't actually represent the interests of their constituents, this is an opportunity for us to represent our own interests by force and claw back power from the corrupt gerontocracy that is so comfortable in their seats, so comfortable with business as usual politics because they are getting paid by the same corporate benefactors as the Republicans are. I have never seen, this past week, 100% proved it. 85% of the American public said no war with Iran. 5% said yes to war with Iran. Donald Trump went to war with Iran, and not a single Democrat in a position of power, like in higher ranking Democrats, actually came out and unconditionally said, what the fuck are we doing here? We don't want war with Iran. Nobody in this public nobody in the American population wants war with Iran, and we're spending billions of dollars at the behest of Israel to go to fucking war with Iran, doing war crimes, bombing fucking nuclear facilities and shit like that over there, when we got cities that have homeless people everywhere. Cities are fucking crippled. Infrastructures are crippled. Nobody has health care. There's an affordability crisis that's looming. All these, like, Donald Trump supposedly won on the affordability crisis message, and he hasn't done dick. All he's done is deport your neighbors, and not a single Democrat in a position of prominence is actually using this to their advantage, even from a cynical, cold, calculated view. At this point, you have to assume that they like what's going on. They see all the violence, they see all the indecency, and they stay quiet because they don't want to do anything about it because they like what the Republicans are doing. Layoffs happening everywhere. There's so much instability. And then we have the Gestapo blackbagging people in the middle of the street with their faces covered. Nobody knows if they're cops even. Maybe some of them are white supremacists that are deputized by ICE, and we just have to sit around and take it. It's bullshit. This is why people like Zohran are important. They give people the audacity of hope, the audacity to dream that politicians could actually represent the interests of their constituents for once. They could actually run on a progressive message for once. And they can be uncompromising and unconditionally brave enough to say, no, I like this. I think we can do this. I think we can help the working poor. I think we can have free buses. I think we can have state-owned grocery stores as a pilot program, modest social democratic reforms in one of the wealthiest cities on the planet, and people are talking as though they're going to do they're going to assassinate every landlord in the city. It's bullshit. There will be no capital flight. Make no mistake. There will be no capital flight from New York City. It's bullshit. Even the mere threat of capital flight is enough for so many in the media to just immediately go, oh, we can't have this. We can't have this. Well, there's more of us than there are of them. Do you understand? What's wild is the election day ballots may have broken more to Zohran than the early voting, a huge showing. Cuomo was about to be broken, says Ross Barkin. I'm not going to speak like it's over, but goddamn, dude, the gap between the Democratic political class and the party's voters on this issue is colossal. Look at this. This is not just the Democrats either. Look at this. Independents also disapprove of this heavily. I'm biased, but it's super nice to have prediction. Oh, he's just doing a poly market. Stop sending me poly market tweets, please. Nate Silver is a fucking hack and a charlatan and is doing poly market ads for without revealing that he's doing poly market ads. But because the fucking FTC doesn't work anymore, no one is going to regulate them. Okay, I don't care about betting market shit. The election center. Projection: Zohran Mamdani is a projected winner in New York City mayor Democratic primary. He will defeat Andrew Cuomo and Brad Lander. What happened, dude? I thought the Jewish New Yorkers were so scared and they were so Islamophobic. Turns out that was actually a bullshit narrative coming from just the media.
A longtime Democratic consultant.
As I've said time and time again, they are Jews in New York. If they cared about Israel, they would be living in Israel. They'd be Jewish in Israel, okay? They are not living in Tel Aviv. They're living in New York. They got New York problems. They don't have Tel Aviv problems. They have New York problems. They could just as easily live in Israel if they wanted to. What the fuck are they living in New York? Because they're fucking New Yorkers. Actually, you know what? I've come to realize, I take it back. The Jewish population of New York is just Hamas. That's what it was. Because it's one or the other, you know what I mean? They're just very anti-Semitically not caring about Israel being a Jewish demographic majority ethno-supremacist apartheid state,
Mamdani is clearly in a very good position going into.
Travis, this guy said he would arrest Netanyahu for crimes against human rights if he came to visit New York City. This is what this guy said. This is a disaster. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. All the liberals who were upset about Zohran Won being a socialist or whatever, just enjoy how much the fucking Republicans are going to lose their minds over this. Please, just, it's time. We will forget all the fucking stupid tweets you put out there. We will forget all the this is a safe space, okay? All the liberals who were constantly complaining about Zohran Won, he's too radical. He's too radical. I want, I don't know, one of the other guys. We will forget. We will forgive. As long as you enjoy the moment.
This guy said that he would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu for crimes against human rights if he came to visit New York City. This is what this guy said. This guy said he wants to replace police officers with social workers, Sean. If you need help because you need the NYPD, this guy says, no, we're going to send you a social worker instead. This is a disaster, maybe unbelievably worse than Chicago, worse than LA. New York City is on the cusp of electing the worst mayor that they have ever chose, Bill de Blasio. People are going to be wishing that he was the guy.
Dude, they're having aneurysms. Oh, that's so awesome.
And I'll mention
wasn't there a whole thing about Lander backstabbing Zohran? No, he did not do that. As a matter of fact, I think he stuck close by his side. Brad Lander literally did the opposite of Elizabeth Warren to Bernie Sanders. He stuck close. He stuck close by Zohran's side the entire process, and he sat there as people just looked foolish. This dorky-looking progressive Jewish man sat next to Zohran Mamdani as people yelled at Zohran over and over again about how anti-Semitic he is, and he just sat there and was like, he's not anti-Semitic. That's it. That's like he was by his side, very clearly a principled person, and definitely, I mean, what he did with the ICE, what he did with the ICE agents, like going and getting literally arrested, trying to save someone from being deported. Like, he's clearly a good person. He's clearly a principled person. He had every opportunity to take advantage of the momentum to be like, yeah, he is anti-Semitic. You should vote for me instead. I'm the real progressive. And he never did that. I don't think that should be discounted. I don't think it was as cynical as the way people say it is. At least the way he carried himself was, I think, very impressive. And yeah, he was already doing that before he got photographed getting arrested. He was doing that already. He just happened to also be arrested while doing it again. Fearmongering didn't work.
Are standing here behind me.
What did Egg Boy say? Cuomo and all the people who lined up behind him absolutely deserve to lose. Just an absolutely cursed series of decisions. Oh my God.
I'm sorry that Andrew
God.
Cuomo.
Egg Boy, don't even fucking act sweet right now. Don't even. This is your L to hold too, bitch. Who did Egg Boy even fucking talk about? He was like, he had like a immediate out the gate loser that he was fucking pushing for. He also was another one of these like anti-Zohran motherfuckers. Now listen, when I said like liberals, this is your opportunity. It's okay. We'll let bygones be bygones. We won't criticize you. Obviously, Matt Yglesias is not one of those rats that are jumping the fucking ship right now as it's sinking. That's a little bit different. Yeah, if Cuomo ran a better campaign, he would have won. Is so funny. All of the fucking silly shit that Cuomo represented and all of the centrist Democrats once again showed their ass on the last second. Bill Clinton came out and was like, only other guy that does rape as good as me. I have to do it to him. The OG. The legend himself. Remember, I made him almost. Did he almost make him HUD secretary too? Like, he's my day one. We love Epstein.
Is just like
part of the elation among progressives tonight is about Israel. It wasn't just that Mamdani survived opposition by AIPAC. It's that he refused to back down and even leaned into the suffering of Palestinians. That too. That plays a role in this as well. I mean, he moderated his message quite a bit. Zohran moderated his message quite a bit on this stuff because he was constantly getting relentlessly hammered. And it's a good moment to recognize once again that courage, bravery of this sort, saying what you actually mean and making sure that it sticks and being unafraid to say the truth about things like this, especially when it comes to Israel, when there's like an unlimited amount of bullying that takes place. If you actually say the truth about Israel being an apartheid state, something that virtually every human rights group agrees on, okay? Every single one of them. And that Israel's doing a genocide. These sorts of things are no longer impossible to contend with. You can just say it, and it is a moment of relief for a lot of people, I think, that they can't even like gum up the works with this nonsense anymore. Felix, I can't be the only Jewish Democrat taking this tonight. It's over. He's going to murder us. It's too late. Okay, you have to stop sending me Felix Biederman tweets while there's 70,000 people in here watching. There's like people's parents are watching right now. They don't understand what is going on. Jonathan Greenblatt is probably in here watching. He's going to be like, look at this tweet that he laughed at. That's a real post from a real Jewish New Yorker who is voting on the Democratic ticket. He's going to be on MSNBC tomorrow being like, Zohran Mamdani, Hassan Piker, Kanye West. Who's the most anti-Semitic? Who knows? And nobody can tell. What's happening in New York City is a blaringly loud message to those in the Dem establishment who still cling to old politics, recite focus group talking points, and are too afraid to say what needs to be said. We have a lot to learn from Zohran Mamdani and his campaign.
That we're done with.
Bro, there are people out there that are giving this advice for free 99, okay? Free 99. It shouldn't take for someone to overcome to take on this Herculean task like Zohran, coming out of fucking nowhere and being propped up by simple people fucking power for the goddamn Democrats to actually turn around and say, hey, maybe we got to change our attitude here. Maybe we got to change trajectory. Stop following after things change, okay? Stop being followers. It's okay to be a fucking leader. It's so annoying. And my fear is that the Democratic establishment doesn't want to win anyway. So instead of looking at this moment and learning a very important lesson that there is a lot of mobilization that can take place. There is a lot of animosity towards the way things exist in this country. And guys like Zohran, populist messaging that hyper focuses on alleviating people's day-to-day stresses, their economic pressures that exist on top of them, is a successful method to campaign with. They can do this. But the issue is, do the Democrats want to do this? Will they actually do this? Because that requires them to basically fucking drop the corporate oligarchy, their corporate benefactors. A lot of people,
campaigns. But I have to tell you, this was a really special, talented group of people. I want to thank all the elected officials who stepped up. I want to thank the labor leaders who stepped up. I want to thank the carpenters, where we got it started in HTC in 1199. Give them a round of applause.
You suck. Also, those pig unions too, bro. Jesus
really
Christ.
As a New Yorker, I am Jewish. As a New Yorker, I am black. I am gay. I am disabled. I am a woman seeking to control her health and her choices. Because as a New Yorker, we are one community.
That's crazy. I can't believe you brought that back. That was wild. Did you guys hear that?
We discussed. But tonight was not our night.
Why did he say that?
Tonight was Assemblyman Mamdani's night, and
Mamdani,
he put together
Assemblyman
a great
Mamdani.
campaign. Again, I want to applaud the Assemblyman for a really smart and good and impactful campaign. Tonight is his night. He deserved it. He won. And we're going to take a look. We'll make some decisions. But I love each and every one of you, and I thank you for what you've done. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I just answered. Thank you.
Trump's first post about Mamdani is going to be very funny. I know. Oh, get fucking wrecked, dude. Oh, that's so good. R.I.P. Bozo. Just don't run. Just save yourself the dignity. I mean, you're not a dignified person, but I mean, the smart thing to do is just not run. Don't even run. Fuck it. Felix Biederman. I apologize to anyone who committed suicide due to my last post. I will slash prices on cameos for any affected families. Anyway, the rest is for Cuomo supporters only. It's a sad night. But as always, the answers are in theory. We must become like fish. Upstate is our ocean. This is the book I read when I feel down as well. And also when I feel horny. In both instances, this is my book. This is my comfort book. Emerson College poll, round 1, February 3rd. Cuomo at 33%. Mamdani at 1%. Listen, this is the first time I'll say it. Maybe podcasts do have motion. Maybe podcasts do have motion. Now, this isn't obviously that, but there is a tremendous amount of effort paired up with Zohran's own personal charisma, and his incredible team. Like, all of it came together so perfectly. Don't get too comfortable, folks. The numbers from Israel aren't in yet. Yeah, that's true. You helped this? Not me. You did. When we went out there and we were walking through the streets with Zohran, and all the people that were coming up, those were, you know, people that work in his campaign. Those are you guys. You guys did this. You all played a role in this. You went out, you door knocked, you canvassed, you phone banked, you told your friends, you made unique content. This is an amazing moment for sure. Are you going to start apartment hunting? Like, I was just, maybe I spoke too soon when I said if Zohran wins, I'll move to New York. You know, tensions were high. I was not thinking. When I said things like, okay, remember, Alexander Loloverruled, the people's lawyer, said he would get a biryani tattoo. I also said for a brief time period. I didn't say permanently. I mean, don't get crazy. Saw this TikTok of you and him. Which one?
Oh yeah, you're an eater. You're a feeder and an eater. You're a real ass eater.
Maybe you could have arranged those words a little differently.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that.
Let me call him up real quick. I want to see. Let's see if he picks up. Everyone's probably partying. Hello? Alexander Loloverruled, you're live on the HasanAbi broadcast. 70,000 people watching. I have a very important question for you.
Yeah.
Have you gotten the biryani tattoo yet?
Is that really why you're f***ing calling me?
I mean, happy birthday also. But yeah, that's part of it.
Oh my God. Did Cuomo concede?
Yeah, he did.
Over for the Italians.
Yeah, that's right. It's never been more
Did
over.
Did you tell them that you didn't come to my birthday?
Yeah, they know I'm in Los Angeles. Yes, they know that I'm not there. And I wish I was there because I'd be getting lit right now if I was there.
Yeah.
I
This
know.
was supposed to be a
Why are you not celebrating? Why are you home? You sound like you're not at a party.
I'm depressed.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'll be there. I'm waiting on wait, are you depressed because I didn't come to your birthday party?
No.
Okay. What are you depressed because you're getting older? Is that what it is?
My birthdays make me sad.
Oh my God, you're so okay. I'll be there. I'll be there soon. Don't worry. I'm waiting on confirmation from Mohammed Khalil's team, but I'll be there. I'll be there this week, most likely.
Okay.
But I'm scared because it feels like New York is like a radical Islamist safe haven. Like I'm a little worried. Like, will you protect me?
You're flying into the caliphate, baby.
Will you protect me?
It's gonna be Sharia law by the time you get here.
I know. It's a very scary state of affairs.
I'm scared.
Yeah. I'll hide you. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll hide you. Islam is the light. Now that Americans are finally learning the ways of Sharia, don't worry.
They're going to be doing, TSA is going to be doing crystal knock tonight.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. They're going to overturn all the Lime scooters. All right.
It's already happening.
All right. Well, I love you and hope you're doing all right. I'm going to hold you. I'm going to hold you account. Wait, why did you say love you back?
I love you too. I love you too.
You better, dude. What is this shit? All right. All right. Have a good night.
All right. Bye.
I don't like using like Republican terminology, I would say, or like Republican strategies here. But this is the closest that the Democratic Party has had to like like a Tea Party. And obviously the Tea Party movement was not grassroots. It was obviously AstroTurf by the Koch brothers. But like this right here is the closest to like an organic movement that could potentially take over the rest of the party. Who knows? The sky's the limit. The Democrats obviously are so invested in destroying their left flank unconditionally. So I don't know where this goes, but I will say this has the early workings of that. Like from the Tea Party to Donald Trump, this does seem kind of like that. And obviously, this is the exact opposite of the Tea Party. Their fucking goals are psychotic and awful and will devastate the working poor, whereas leftist goals and socialist goals are clearly positive for the working class. Matt Yglesias, dude, Matt Yglesias was chirping about how you should never listen to the fucking DSA yesterday. I don't want to say what I truly want to say because I will get banned off this platform, so I'm not going to say it, but I'm thinking it, and you can't stop me from thinking it. But Matt Yglesias yesterday was like, nah, you should never listen to the DSA types. Nah. Like, shut the up, dude. Shut up. You've never had any motion. You've never had any momentum that wasn't backed by corporate interests. He is such a indecent shark. The major problem with a lot of these dumbass establishment candidates and also their backers in the commentariat is that they just sit around and wait to get their notes from the Democrats, and they don't stand for anything. They don't stand for anything at all. They get dominated by Republicans who actually do stand for something, evil, okay? They stand for evil, but at least they stand for something. Democrats don't stand for shit. So they're constantly on the defensive end. They're constantly sitting around and consistently capitulating to the right-wing issues that they are dominating over the fucking media ecosystem with. Is so stupid. That is what I'm saying. If according to left populists, the best left populist campaign's performance level can win a primary in New York City, then what are we even arguing about in terms of winning a national majority? Shut the fuck up. You said he couldn't even do that, and now you're like, oh, well, it was an easy victory. So why couldn't fucking Andrew Cuomo win then, dickhead? Why couldn't fucking Andrew Cuomo win it then? He had literally the Cuomo name. Charlie Kirk from the top rope with 2001 levels of racism. 24 years ago, Muslims killed 2,753 people on 9/11. Now Muslim socialist is on pace to run New York City. Jessica Tarkov, my queen. Charlie, this is so gross and Islamophobic. Take it down. I think he knows. Jessica, I think he knows. I think that's why he posted it. Laura Loomer freaking out about Muslims. Yeah, no, shit's going to get so much worse. New Yorkers forgot all about the victims of 9/11 killed by Muslims. Now Muslim communists will be the mayor of New York City. Get out while you can. Oh, Sam. Uncle Sam. He said, ahem, Senator Schumer, might a congratulations to the winner of the Democratic mayoral primary in your city be in order? Oh, that's the other thing. They got to kiss Zohran's ring. David Frum. Well, at least we can retire the faded and false line. Anti-Semitism has no place in New York City. Bro, Jewish New Yorkers voted for him. What are you talking about? These guys are literally hysterical. They live in this like weird ass echo chamber where they're just like, no, you don't understand. Jewish people are terrified of the Zohran victory. It spells trouble. It's anti-Semitism central in New York now. It's over. They're going to do pogroms. They're going to do fucking Kristallnacht. It's like so stupid. If anything, Judeo-Bolshevism is back in a big way, okay? That's what I'm looking out for. That's what I want. That's what I want. Rise up. It's feeling red hot, but not Republican, if you know what I'm saying. Islamogoshism and Judeo-Bolshevism have combined powers to become an unstoppable force, okay? This is how he won Staten Island. They all got flooded with flyers calling Zohran Hitler too. Not surprised he did so. Shit backfired. They were like, hold up. I was voting for Cuomo because he's a piece of shit. I didn't realize this guy's really, he's the real deal. Even Cuomo's afraid of this fucking guy. Oh, no. More conservative seething. This is one of the saddest days in recent New York political history. The Democratic Party has just nominated a mayoral candidate who refused to recognize Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state. Stop. Why is this? Like, you can't write this out loud. You can't put this out there, man. This is funny as like what does that have to do with the New York mayoral race, man? It's like me crying because Eric Adams is no longer the mayor of New York. Someone who is a strong supporter of Turkey must always be in charge of the most important city for Turks. New York City, the Istanbul of America. Like, can you imagine if I ran around all day, every day, being like, Eric Adams is unjustly maligned by the Democratic Party's forces for simply being a good friend to the Turks. He's such a good friend to the Turks that he doesn't even go and get a hair transplant. He was doing it for the love of the game. Like, can you imagine if that was my #1 priority all the time? I was like, how good is a candidate to Turkey?
Delta there in Brooklyn. We expected Mamdani to do well there. We weren't sure about the other boroughs. I mean, Queens was a borough where it looked like Cuomo.
Zohran Won. We're in the bomb shelter.
Instead, Mamdani winning Queens by about 8 points. Of course, the vote tally is not complete.
You're laughing.
Manhattan winning by about 6 points.
Comedians had to go to the bomb shelter because Zohran won the mayoral primary, and you're laughing. You think it's funny? You think it's funny? This is real. Oh, yeah. Reminder that the Piker Broadcasting Service is brought to you by the viewers. Please subscribe to keep the show and its editorial independence. Get ready to pray 5 times a day, New York City. Okay. Honestly, we're all celebrating and we're all joking, but like there are a not insignificant number of people who like think this is serious. Republican Jewish Coalition says evacuate New York City immediately. Thank you to your attention. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We urge all Jews to evacuate New York City. Red alert. Dude, missile alerts. Missile alerts over. Missile alerts over New York City. Homefront Command has released a new statement. All Jews must shelter in place. Go to your bunkers now. Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers have just voted for suicide, and a huge chunk of those voters will soon attempt to bail and move to places like Florida. So freaking predictable. Regular people don't really want to live under the reign of a Muslim communist. By the way, just another point. I know it doesn't matter. I've talked about this quite a bit, but like the way that so many people feel so freaking comfortable just being like, this guy's a Muslim as a pejorative, as like an attack is insane. Can you imagine saying that like for anyone else? Like most people would be like, oh, this guy, imagine having a black socialist in power. People would be like, what do you mean by that? That's weird. Now, there's also another way this shit would not fly. If someone were to be like, oh, I can't believe a Jew is going to be the mayor of New York. If you said that, you're done. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if Charlie Kirk was like, oh, a Jewish socialist won New York, the New York mayoral race? If he were to say something along those lines, he would get eviscerated. Did you see this post from Stop Anti-Semitism about you earlier? Yeah, I did. Zohran Mamdani's inner circle includes Linda Sarsour, Rashida Tlaib, Hassan Piker, Mehdi Hassan, Mohammed El Kurd, Brianna Joy Gray, Ali Abunima. That's a winning ticket, baby, it seems. Congratulations to Zohran Mamdani and thousands of grassroots supporters for their extraordinary campaign. Remember, like Zohran very clearly said, Bernie Sanders was important in his political development. He said that, and you can see it in his campaign. Like he ran a Bernie-style campaign, grassroots, focused on door knocking, focused on doing the work, incredible messaging discipline, constantly talking about solving people's economic problems. He did it. He did the damn thing. We got the news of the Brooklyn Democratic Socialist Watch Party. God damn. That's major. This is exactly what I thought this room would be looking like. I'm not gonna lie. Live from Zohran Watch Party in New York City. I am crying. Good things are still possible. Yeah, dude, this is what a spectacular. What a spectacular moment for hope. It's so crazy that this dude is just like a normal ass dude, a kind ass dude. And like, he just wants to do right by people who didn't. We'll see, man. Let's see what happens in the general. Let's see what happens in the general. Because I do think that like someone is going to try to unseat him. 62% of Democrats think their party leadership should be replaced. Unsatisfied with the current leadership, yes, 49%. Party leaders should be replaced, 62%. June 11th to 16th, Reuters Ipsos poll says 62% of Democrats believe that their party leadership should be replaced. What do? Obviously, that means they want more of the same old bullshit. That is what they want. Kathy Hochul made a statement. Today, voters made their voices heard, demanding a more affordable, more livable New York City. I hear them loud and clear. Zohran Mamdani built a formidable grassroots coalition, and I look forward to speaking with him in the days ahead about his ideas on how to ensure a safe, affordable, and livable New York City. You know she was not happy to post that tweet. Yo, I hope Ethan Klein is doing all right, by the way, because he was really worried about the negative attention that I was bringing over to the Zohran campaign. You know, I'm sure he'll be rest assured, Ethan. Zohran won in spite of my support for him. Fucking idiot. He supports Zohran? No, he doesn't. He just out of nowhere decided to attack Zohran and me as an attack against me the other day.
My name is Tish James.
That was crazy that she actually did like a last second endorsement too. Didn't she do like a literal last hour endorsement? Like I think it was like yesterday or something.
Critics said that he didn't have the experience. His critics said that he didn't have the right name. Well, now all of them know his goddamn name.
God damn, they're blowing it up.
What's his name? 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 Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Democratic nominee for the city of New York, Zohran Won.
God damn.
Thank you, my friends. Tonight, we made history. In the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it is done. My friends, we have done it. I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City. I I spoke with Andrew Cuomo about the need to bring this city, together as he called me to concede the race.
Yo, he quit? He actually quit.
And I want to thank Brad Lander.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Brad is a good dude, bro. See? Look how much praise he's getting. Look how much fucking praise he's getting. Everybody always says like leftists are Bernie bros are fucking annoying, blah, 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 all this shit. He did the honorable thing. He defended Zohran through and through.
One of partnership and of sincerity.
Let's go. There we go.
Today, 8 months after launching this campaign, with the vision of a city that every New Yorker could afford, we have won. We have won from Harlem to Bay Ridge. We have won from Jackson Heights to Port Richmond. We have won from Maspeth to Chinatown. We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford. A city where they can do more than just struggle. One where those who toil in the night can enjoy the fruits of their labor in the day. Where hard work is repaid with a stable life. Where 8 hours on the factory floor or behind the wheel of a cab is enough to pay the mortgage. It is enough to keep the lights on. It is enough to send your kid to school. Where rent-stabilized apartments are actually stabilized. Where buses are fast and free. Where childcare doesn't cost more than CUNY. And where public safety keeps us truly safe. And it's where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism. To stop mass ICE agents from deporting our neighbors. And to govern our city as a model for the Democratic Party. A party where we fight for working people with no apology. A life of dignity should not be reserved for a fortunate few. It should be one that city government guarantees for each and every New Yorker. If this campaign has demonstrated anything to the world, it is that our dreams can become reality. Dreaming demands hope. And when I think of hope, I think of the unprecedented coalition of New Yorkers that we have built. For this is not my victory. This is ours.
Yeah, he's my age, yeah. We're both 33.
It is.
Look at how accomplished he is as a 33-year-old. And then look at me, a loser.
Who knocked on door after door until her feet throbbed and her knuckles ached. It is the victory of the 18-year-old who voted in their first ever election. And it is the victory of the Gambian uncle who finally saw himself and his struggle in a... Dreaming demands solidarity.
Okay, this audio is better. You were right.
And when I look out at this room and out onto the midnight skyline...
Yeah, this man had a rap career,
that is what I
has
see.
a wife. Mayor of New York.
Canvas launches that continued
I'm
in
a
the pouring
loser.
rain. Children who called parents. Strangers
Are we
who
getting
care about
brigaded?
those they
What do
will
you mean?
never
Why?
meet. A New York that believes in each other and in itself. This is solidarity, and it defines our victory. And above all, dreaming demands work. Last Friday night, as the sun began to drop in the sky, I set off on a 13-mile walk from the northernmost tip of Manhattan to the base of the island. We began in Inwood, where music played and neighbors set out dominoes on the sidewalk. It was 7 p.m. The weekend had arrived. For most people, the time for work was over. But this is New York, where the work never ends. Waiters carried plates on 181st Street. Conductors drove the subways that rattled high above 125th. And world-class musicians tuned instruments as we passed Lincoln Square. By the time we made it downtown, a crowd marched behind us, a living embodiment of the energy and purpose that defines this campaign. Still, long past midnight, New York worked. Garbage trucks weaved through empty streets. Fishmongers carried in tomorrow's wares. And when we finally arrived at the Battery at 2:20 a.m. in the morning, the workers who run the Staten Island Ferry were on the job too. Just as they are every hour of the day, every day of the week. Each of these New Yorkers carried a dream with them that night as they labored. Just as each of us dreams of a New York that is more hopeful and affordable for all. And we have worked hard for our dream. This has been a historically contentious race. One that has filled our airwaves with millions in smears and slander. I hope now that this primary has come to an end. I can introduce myself once more. Not as you've seen me in a 30-second ad or in a mailer in your mailbox, but as how I will lead as your mayor. I will be the mayor for every New Yorker. Whether you voted for me, for Governor Cuomo, or felt too disillusioned by a long, broken political system to vote at all, I will fight for a city that works for you, that is affordable for you, that is safe for you. I will work to be a mayor you will be proud to call your own. I cannot promise that you will always agree with me, but I will never hide from you. If you are hurting, I will try to heal. If you feel misunderstood, I will strive to understand. Your concerns will always be mine, and I will put your hopes before my own. And I know that those hopes extend beyond our 5 boroughs. There are millions of New Yorkers who have strong feelings about what happens overseas. I am one of them. And while I will not abandon my beliefs or my commitments, grounded in a demand for equality, for humanity, for all those who walk this earth, you have my word to reach further, to understand the perspectives of those with whom I disagree, and to wrestle deeply with those disagreements. Let me close with this. In these dark times, I know that it is harder than ever to keep faith in our democracy. It has been attacked by billionaires and their big spending, by elected officials who care more about self-enrichment than the public trust, and by authoritarian leaders who rule through fear. But above all, our democracy has been attacked from within. For too long, New Yorkers have strained to find a leader who represents us, who puts us first. And we have been betrayed time and again. After so many disappointments, the heart hardens. Belief becomes elusive. And when we no longer believe in our democracy, it only becomes easier for people like Donald Trump to convince us of his worth. For billionaires to convince us that they must always lead. As FDR said, democracy has disappeared in several other great nations. Not because the people disliked democracy, but because they had grown tired of unemployment and insecurity, of seeing their children hungry while they sat helpless in the face of government confusion and weakness. In desperation, they chose to sacrifice liberty in the hope of getting something to eat. New York, if we have made one thing clear over these past months, it is that we need not choose between the two. We can be free and we can be fed. We can demand what we deserve. And together we have built a movement where everyday New Yorkers recognize themselves in our vision of democracy. Every new voter registered, that is faith renewed. Every voter who traveled through withering heat to the polls, that is faith renewed. And every New Yorker who sees solutions to the daily challenges they face in this campaign, that is faith renewed. Together, New York, we have renewed our democracy. We have given our city permission to believe again. And I pledge to you that we will remake this great city, not in my image, but in the image of every New Yorker who has only known struggle.
Wait, Kathy Hochul deleted her post?
In our New York, the power belongs to the people.
No way. It's the other account, I suspect. It's got to be the other account.
The people
that
are here with me today.
They all have two accounts.
And as I thank the incredible leaders who have long fought for those people, who are here across this crowd and across these 5 boroughs and standing next to me in the Attorney General of this state.
It's her other account.
In the public advocate of this city. In our Congresswoman, Nydia Velasquez.
She hit it
in
on
our
the private.
Controller, Brad Lander. And in every single person who believed in this campaign long before it was easy to do so. And you believed when it was difficult. We dreamt in the night. And we are now building in the dawn. That new day, the one that we have yearned for, the one that we have struggled for, the one that we have knocked for, have texted for, have called for, the one that we have obsessed over. That new day is finally here, my friends. And it is here because you have delivered it. Thank you.
Wow. Like I said, it still doesn't feel real, but also on top of that, it not only doesn't feel real, but it also feels like there's so much more work to be done. I'm still so worried about the fucking general. You know, our work is not done, chat. You must remain vigilant. It's good.
And as I thank you,
it's good to you know,
I must
have a dose of hope
who brought
and
me
optimism.
into this world.
But we must remain vigilant.
I must thank my mother and my father. Mira and Mahmoud. And I must thank
Yeah, that's true. 4 years ago, he was just a part of a Gravel Institute video.
I must thank my incredible
talking
wife.
about Austrian-style socialist housing. Look at where he's at now.
Duaji.
This is Mahmoud Mamdani's book, The CIA and the Factory of Islamist Terrorism.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now let us lead this city into one that is affordable for each and every New Yorker.
Dude, what a night, what a night, what a night, what a night. Oh my God, I cannot wait to watch everyone coping and seething. Oh my God. There's still so much work to be done. Like I said, so much work to be done. How far you came? Yeah, look. This is 4 years ago.
Even before the pandemic, in places like New York,
Look at us. Look at us. This is before I know who the fuck Zohran Mamdani even was, really. I just thought he was just some random guy on a Gravel video.
People in Los Angeles spend a majority of their income on housing. In New York City, about 20% of all renters pay most of their income to their landlord.
Look at that.
And in my district, Astoria, about a quarter of residents have to spend most of their paycheck on rent.
You've been a Mamdani fan? Okay, to be fair, I didn't know anything about him here. I can't take credit for that. But yeah, this was crazy.
Oh, it got started.
I do wonder, like, I mean, I think the policies are huge. They're obviously important. His charisma is obviously important. But I do kind of think, like, do the podcasters have motion? Like, do we have motion, chat? No memes, like Chapo, myself, Majority Report. There were a lot of early boosters on the left-wing podcast circuit. Like, do we have some motion? I don't know, maybe. Because, like, I didn't really think about it like this before. It was a Nick Mullen endorsement. Okay, I'm being serious. Chapo had him on the in the month of February. I had him on the beginning of April, and Majority Report was also boosting him pretty hard. Even if it's not like getting a lot of visibility to a candidate, I feel like we have a lot of people who are, you know, door knockers, a lot of people who work within like DSA and stuff like that. And maybe, you know, maybe we played a little bit of a role there. I don't know. The reason why I'm thinking about it is because like if that's the case, I wonder if we could just like mobilize behind other candidates like that as well. But I mean, obviously it has to be organic. Don't overglaze podcast. Cuomo's comically bad. No, I mean, I think so. I think that's just everything aligned perfectly. I don't think this is like, I don't think this is not to just be like oh, this was just the podcasters or anything like that. That's a joke. But what I mean is, one of the major things that Zohran was able to do, aside from being super charismatic and having a brilliant team around him, was that he had a ton of support on the ground. Like, he had a lot of people door knocking, working on the campaign. A lot of you guys, a lot of HasanAbi heads were working on the campaign. And I wonder if like that's replicable. The New York City mayoral race is a nationally relevant race. You will see in the upcoming days, watch this space. There will be a lot of fucking people making comments. A lot of people making comments about like what this means for the future of the Democratic Party. And all of them will be stupid. All of them. They will never pull from people who actually have the right opinions on this. It will all be like the Matt Yglesias types. It will be the right-wing dipshits talking about how this is actually great. If the Democrats go in this direction, they'll fucking lose. You know, that type of thing. And then it'll be all the shit libs and establishment Democrats being like, well, this was a one-off and this will hurt the rest of the party if we move in this direction. And I don't know. I don't think they'll be actually actively seeking out people like myself or those who are organizers within DSA or anything like that. But the very fact that there will be a lot of commentary around this will be proof of what I'm saying. It's just that this is a race of national importance. I think the goal obviously is to try to find like local politicians like Zohran who are naturally charismatic, genuine, earnest. Just walked into Cat's Deli. Things have really changed since Zohran won. Great thread of hog reactions. Oh yeah, no, I will be looking at this tomorrow. Almost 11 fucking hours. What a day, man. What a day. Needed that W.